Hey, good evening, everybody. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And thanks for stopping by. Come on in, have a seat, and listen to a grown man talk.
If you're gonna live your life, live it like a grown man. If you're gonna get it right, get it like a grown man. If you're gonna love your wife, love her like a grown man. If you're gonna raise your kids, raise them like a grown man. If you're gonna own your faith, own it like a grown man. If you're gonna share the truth, share it like a grown man. If you're gonna be a man, be a grown man.
Today, I want to talk to you guys about Cassie and Diddy's case. The reason that I want to have this discussion with you guys is because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about or say things like Cassie is not a victim, that she was all for it, that it's only a money grab, that she didn't have any problem with what was going on and how things was happening with her until after Diddy didn't want her anymore. And then it became an issue. When I hear that, it's kind of triggering for me. And the reason why it's kind of triggering for me, because I know firsthand that that's not true. That she is a victim. That Diddy is a horrible, horrible person. Diddy is an abuser. And it really sickens me when I hear some of these men commentators now saying things like that Cassie's not a victim, that she was all for it, that she obviously liked it, she stayed, she should have got out. Why didn't she get out? She had opportunity to get out and she came back over and over again. So she's not a victim. She only became a victim when Diddy didn't want her no more. That only proves to me when I hear people say things like that, how ignorant you are. That you have no idea what you're talking about. Not only that, you're victim blaming when you say things like that. That she's not a victim. And it lets me know that you have limited knowledge of the behavior of someone who's been abused. You have very limited knowledge of what that does to a person. First of all, you're not taking into account how young Cassie was when she first encountered Diddy. You're not taking into account that this was a very young woman. And she was swept off her feet by this powerful, rich man who I can guarantee you told her and promised her the world. He was going to make her famous. She would never have to worry about anything. He was going to take care of her for the rest of her life. This young girl, because if I'm not mistaken, she probably wasn't no older than 18 years old when she first encountered or got with Diddy. And I can assure you that he didn't start abusing her right off the bat. I can assure you he groomed her. He bombarded her. He love bombed her to no end. He showered her with things that she could never obtain on her own at that particular time. She was being flown all over the world. She had access to rich and powerful people. This young woman. And then she was being sexed up by this older man. And you don't think that had this young woman totally swept over her feet? You don't think that she felt totally head over heels in love with this man? I can promise you that she did. And she would probably do damn near anything, excuse my language, to stay with him and to make him happy. After all, look what he was giving her. Things she'd never had in her entire life, her young life. And for some of you guys to sit up there and say that this young girl is not a victim is disrespectful and disgusting. Now let me let you in on a little secret. I know firsthand what that looks like. I know what it looks like when a woman is abused and she stay with her abuser. I know what it looks like when a woman has opportunity after opportunity to get away from this abuser and does, and then return. I've seen it firsthand. I've lived it firsthand. Not of me being an abuser, but of seeing my mother go through exactly that thing. You don't understand that sometimes the person that's being abused is being psychologically manipulated. This person is living in a state of fear. The person she's been isolated. She's been stripped of any self-worth at her young age. And you guys that says, oh, well, she had chances to get out, why did she go back? You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what you was talking about. You're just saying things based on your own ignorance. You need to get educated. Why don't you try and go into some of these shelters where some of these women have been abused, seriously, viciously abused, and sit down and have some conversations with them. And listen to some of their stories. Listen at the horrific things that they had to endure. Do you know that sometimes women will stay with an abuser because he's a good provider for their children? If she has any? She'll endure brutal beatings because this guy's a good provider for her children. Do you know that a woman that's being abused has been totally brainwashed? Do you know that? She's been brainwashed. Now, I know it's hard for some of you pea-brains to understand it. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be insulting, but it's insulting for you to insinuate that this young girl's not a victim. So if I seem a little perturbed, that's because I am. I am. Here's this young woman and this rich, powerful guy. You've seen the videos of this man beating the heck out of this girl, kicking her like an animal, dragging her like a dog. So what do you think he's been doing to her any other time? Do you think that's the first time he's done that? What do you think he does to her in private? If he did this in the hallway of a hotel where anybody could have walked off the elevator and caught him at any time, what do you think he does to her when nobody's around? And you don't think that she could possibly be brainwashed? You don't think that she could be so psychologically damaged that she doesn't even think she deserves any better? And that's because he's brainwashed her to the point to now believing that she don't deserve any better. And not only that, sometimes the victim will actually start to blame themselves for the abuse that they're suffering. They're living in a false reality because of the onslaught of abuse, the emotional, the physical, and I submit spiritual abuse that they have been subjected to. It has changed their whole thought process. It's easy for you to say that she could have just stayed away or she should have just got out. That's easy for you to say. But I can assure you, it is not easy for her to do. Not after withstanding that kind of abuse for a long period of time. Not after having access to that kind of money and power. And for the women that I've heard say that she's not a victim, how shameful can you be? How shameful can you be? Is a click or a view that important to you where you'll choose the side of an abuser over this young woman who's clearly been abused, mistreated, used as an object for sex acts? This man was using this girl and allowing all kinds of strippers and people to just treat her like trash, sex her up like trash. And I can hear some of you right now probably saying, well, she participated in it. Absolutely, she sure did. Classic symptom of trying to please her master. Same thing as a slave do. Anything to please their master, to make their master happy. And it is that serious. She was head over heels in love with him, and he was her master. And she would do anything to please him. Anything. Because she's been changed. Her mind has been transformed into believing that she doesn't deserve any better, that she's at fault for the abuse that she's getting, and that she'll never, ever find anything better than him. She can go back to the life that she had before she met him and give all this up. And I want you to keep in mind now, don't lose track of how young she was when the abuse started. Don't lose sight of that, because it's very, very important. Financial dependence is powerful. Psychological and physical and mental abuse is powerful. Killing her self-esteem is powerful. How dare you say that this woman's not a victim? How dare you say that? I wonder if you would feel that way for your own mother. I seen it with my mother. There. That's how I know I'm qualified to say what I said. I saw it firsthand with my own mother. And for some of you who have seen it as well, who come on some of these platforms and say that this young woman is not a victim just so somebody can click or view your video, you're disgusting. You're disgusting. And I can only hope and pray that you don't ever become a victim of it. I know you like to think that it's not possible, but it is. It's possible for anybody, any young woman, to end up in Cassie's shoes. And for it, oh, she's just trying to get money. You don't think she should be awarded any compensation for what she's been put through? You don't think she deserves anything for what she's been put through because she didn't leave, because she went back, because she's not a victim. You're wrong. You're wrong. She is a victim. She's a victim of a disgusting person who uses their money, power, and fame to mistreat and abuse women and anybody that he's encountered. He's done it to men too. He's used his position of power on men too. But yet you want to stand by his side. Yet you want to say he didn't do anything to nobody. That everybody was, all in on it. They wanted to be close to that money and power. So because you want to be close to money and power means that you should be abused, means that you should be beat up. It means that you should be used as a sex slave because you want to be close to money and power. Does it mean that? I don't think so. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means that you have somebody who had money, power, and fame, who's seen people, especially young women, as his slaves to do with whatever he wanted to. Treat any kind of way he wanted to. You don't think that the promise of fame, money, you don't think that would lock her in to wanting to do anything to be with this guy who's promising her, especially when she has the evidence that he's made other people famous, that he's have all these other artists that he turned out and made famous. He promised her the same thing. Promised her he was going to make her famous. You don't think that was powerful? I'm here to tell you that you really need to do some research on victims of domestic abuse before you open your mouth and spew the garbage that you're spewing about this woman not being a victim. Before you want to come out publicly and attack her. Attack her. Some of y'all are attacking this young woman. And all of y'all seem to be focused on the same thing. Well, she just wants money. She just wants money. You don't think she's deserving for what she's endured? You don't think she deserves any for being brainwashed, manipulated, abused, mistreated, stripped of her very person? You don't think she deserves anything for that? You don't think she deserves anything? You don't believe that he should be in jail for what he's done? You don't think he should rot for the rest of his life in jail for what he's done? Not only to Cassie, to many, many other people. If you believe that Diddy don't belong in jail for the things he's done, you're just as sick as he is. That means you're just as sick as he is. And you probably are an abuser yourself in one form or another. You maybe not beat your woman to death, but I'm sure you probably are an abuser in some kind of way. And for the women that's saying that she don't deserve a thing, I think that comes from jealousy. That's all. That's my opinion. Both of those are opinions. I just want you to know that. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, but I am a child of a person who was abused for years. I lived it my whole life as a child. That qualifies me to be able to say exactly what I'm saying, that she is a victim. My mother was a victim. So I understand exactly what's going on with young Cassie. And before you start opening your mouth and saying stuff like you're saying, why don't you research something? Why don't you go and talk to some women that has been victims of domestic abuse? Qualify what you're saying. Because other than that, you're just giving your opinion, a very uneducated opinion, or a very uncaring opinion that allows people like Diddy to get away with the stuff that they do and treat people the way that they treat because they can find support in people like you who don't want to blame him for what he's done to that young lady and countless others. Instead, you want to turn and look at these people and blame them. If you can look in the mirror and live with yourself, then you're a horrible person for saying the things that you're saying. If you're one of those people that want to blame Cassie, that want to blame all the other people's lives that this person named Diddy has ruined, if you can look yourself in the face and you believe what she's saying, you probably need to go get some help because there's something wrong with you if you believe that. Please, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, comment on the video, and I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Until the next time, thank you for coming in. Peace out.